Hello and a very warm welcome, everyone. Today we have a very special guest with us to discuss on the upcoming India versus Sri Lanka series. Former India spinner Lakshman Sivaramakrishnan. Welcome, Sivasa.
You very much.
Sivasa, without wasting much time, I'll straight away jump into the questions. Uh, how important do you think, Sivasa, will be this upcoming series for Shikhar Dhawan? Because he's been named as the captain. He'll be leading India for the first time. But at the same point of time, he's also fighting for that opener's position with the KL Rahul and also probably Virat Kohli in India's T20 side. So how important is this series going to be for Dhawan?
Shikhar Dhawan's, with his experience and his ability to play shots and gauge pitches and know what shots to play on which pitches is going to be very, very useful. And as a captain, he has to lead from the front, nothing like a captain succeeding. So I'm sure Shikhar Dhawan is working very hard, looking forward to the store. And he had a fair amount of success in the IPL. IPL, Shikhar Dhawan played a few good knocks. So I'm hoping that he continues. See, the very fact that Shikhar has been taken to Sri Lanka is very much in the frame of the selectors' minds. Otherwise, they would have taken somebody younger. So he's definitely there. He's done well for India. In white ball cricket, he's been very, very successful. So if Shikhar gets off to a start, and I'm hoping that he does because the Sri Lanka attack is not the most difficult. I think you have a really good point because he's going to be competing with people who are as old as him or if not younger than him. But talent-wise, they're all there, more or less there. So it's going to be a difficult decision for the selectors. But I'm just hoping, having known Shikhar from his under 19 days, that he comes good and he does really well.
Right. And there is another exciting player in the Indian side who will probably start with Shikhar as the opener, Prithvi Shaw. He started as a red ball cricketer. He was preferred. He made his India debut, scored a century. Then in Australia, his technique probably was a big question, got dropped. But in white ball cricket, in domestic cricket and IPL, he made a stunning comeback. So how do you see actually Prithvi's white ball career shaping up? Because considering his stroke play, do you think his kind of play or his kind of batting approach is more suited perhaps for the white ball cricket?
White ball doesn't swing as much as red ball, so he's got a big advantage there. But the red ball, swings a lot more and for a lot longer. So here, Prithvi, if he gets in the first 4 or 5 overs, and he's a very good player on the offside, if he can improve his play on the leg side, I think he'll be more than a handful. He's very young. Once again, mentioned he's in capable hands, and he has to just work very, very hard on his cricket, on his fitness, fielding, and batting. If he does that, he's got a long way to go. In fact, if he just brushes up his technique a little bit more with the bat coming down straight, he can do well in red ball cricket as well. I mean, he has done well in test matches and red ball cricket when he made his debut. So, no reason why you can't improve your technique and come back and get runs and be successful.
As you said, you're speaking about improving the technique and coming to that, no better person than Rahul Dravid, perhaps, to have a word and walk on that during the course of this series. So, how important do you think Rahul's role will be as a coach, as a mentor, with not only with Prithvi Shaw but also with all the young cricketers, brushing up those minor details, perhaps adjusting the back leg, perhaps the foot movement. Share your thoughts on that.
Rahul was technically very, very sound. I mean, after Sunil Gavaskar, probably you thought Rahul Dravid the ball was technically very sound. And that would rub off on the players. And he's a good person to have a chat with. So players need not feel embarrassed or little apprehensive about talking to him. And he's a nice guy. So he was going to share his knowledge with you. And he probably will tell the batsman how to bat and probably will tell the bowlers how a batsman approaches his innings. So he can help in all departments of the game, Rahul Dravid. And Rahul Dravid's thing is, apart from the technique, is tenacity. I think that the mental part of it is something that a lot of people can learn from the game, because cricket is played inside out these days. I mean, right around the year, pandemic or no pandemic, they have to stay within the bubble. So it's very, very important to pick part of the cricket of Rahul Dravid because he was those very, very tenacious cricketers.
Right. And Shiva sir, coming to the all-rounders part now, Hardik Pandya has not been bowling for India regularly. He played as a specialist batsman in Australia. He made everyone realize that he's probably indispensable for white ball cricket even while playing as a batsman. But how important do you think Hardik as an all-rounder is for the balance of the Indian team? Because we are still searching for that seam bowling all-rounder. When we take Hardik out, there's probably no one to replace him because we have selected ample of players, backup openers, spinners, seamers. But if you look at seam bowling all-rounders, only Hardik is touring Sri Lanka. So how important is Hardik and role as an all-rounder in the team side?
Well, he'll have an integral part to play the moment he starts bowling and bowling with full fitness. I think Hardik is your key all-rounder. Maybe after a long, long time, we're getting a medium pace all-rounder, which means he'll balance the side beautifully. And we don't have fast bowlers who can bat well, even in the test. I mean, I'm not trying to put anybody down. Our fast bowlers are not capable of contributing big time with the bat. But Hardik can. Hardik not only can contribute with the bat, he can get you runs in lightning quick time. He can destroy the opposition. So if Hardik is fully fit and he becomes a tremendous asset to the team.
And do you think, Shiva sir, there is a bit more pressure on Hardik not only to perform as an all-rounder but also to do that finisher's job because the position at which he bats at number 6 or number 7 in white ball cricket, India probably don't doesn't have that many options as they do at the top of the order. So at times that approach can be lacking, and we still haven't found that replacement for Hardik even as a finisher, which MSD used to do previously.
That's been the problem. India, the problem has been that. I mean, finishers after MSD and, Yuvraj Singh was great. But after MSD, we are looking at a good finisher. And the only possible, I mean, he can be a very dangerous player and a fantastic finisher is Hardik Pandya. So I think it's important for him to regain full fitness. And then when you start to bowl, and when you're functioning in all three departments of the game, like Hardik would be, batting, bowling, and fielding, you have every more chance to contribute to the team. And every time you contribute, you become a better cricketer, both with your technique and your mental makeup. So I think the key for India's success in white ball cricket and T20 cricket will be the of Hardik Pandya. And if he can play to his potential, it'll be awesome.
Right. And Shiva sir, I'll be crucified if I don't ask you about spinners while talking to you. So, what do you think about the makeup of India's white ball spinners? Because we sort of into a situation where Chahal and Kuldeep probably pushed everyone out of contention. They were doing beautifully while playing together, but of late, lack of opportunities and also lack of wickets. We have seen both of them struggle a bit. So where do you think, particularly in Kuldeep's case, is the problem? What is his problem actually? Is it confidence? Is it match practice? Is he does he need to improve his length or line or trajectory?
I mean, combination of all that you've said, because of the pandemic, there was no domestic cricket. Domestic cricket, when I talk about, they had white ball cricket. They didn't have red ball cricket. And red ball cricket is where you can go play Ranji Trophy and bowl long spells. And when you bowl long spells, you learn a lot more. You become far more consistent. And when you do that, you become far more confident. So it's a series of things that go in hand. Because the lack of Ranji Trophy in the last couple of years, Kuldeep has not been able to go back and play for a state and enhance his cricket and become a better bowler. But hopefully it'll all end soon. Kuldeep is still a young man. He can always make a comeback. But that's the only thing I keep saying. As a cricketer, whether you're a batsman, bowler, or a fielder, you've got to keep improving all the time. You cannot become stagnant. And once you become stagnant, then everybody knows what you're going to be bowling.
Right. And coming to his spin bowling partner, Sivasar Chahal. Chahal has been a grand success not only for India but also for RCB in the IPL. But we've seen in the last couple of series there has been a problem with his flighted deliveries because Chahal in T20I in ODIs has a strategy of bowling wide outside the off stump, looping it in the air, inviting the batsmen when they try to attack him. But in the England series, we saw Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow taking full advantage of that. So, do you think that now oppositions will try and attack Chahal more because he tries to trap the batsman while that by their flighted delivery. Does Chahal need to add more to his armory?
Yeah, definitely has to have a little more in his armory. See, you've got to be a big turn of the cricket ball. As a leg spinner, you should be able to turn the ball on any pitch. Once you turn the ball reasonably big or big enough, then the batsman won't leave the crease. He's a little tentative to leave his crease and come, because if you don't get to the pitch of the ball, you're going to get stumped. That's why you need big spinners of the ball to be able to succeed in all forms of cricket: Test match cricket, 50-over cricket, and T20 cricket. I think when he came in first, he was a very steady bowler, and people thought they can hit him all over the park, and they would go after him. And Chahal got a lot of wickets. But now people are being more methodical, and they are finding out what shots, if they play, they'll be successful against Chahal. And they're playing those particular shots, like you mentioned, the reverse sweep, the conventional sweep, if he bowls stump to stump down the ground. So that's where Chahal needs to change his bowling tactics a lot and keep varying it, where the batsmen are still guessing what's coming.
Right. And there is a young spinner in the Indian team, Varun Chakravarti, who has done very well in the IPL. The mystery factor is there. He's different than what the other wrist spinners are, or what they offer for India. Do you see Varun Chakravarti making a case for himself if he does well in Sri Lanka for the T20 World Cup? Because the surprise factor will be there when he's playing.
Yeah, because most of the other foreign teams don't know what Varun Chakravarti bowls. So, he, being the mystery bowler that he is, and if he has a good tour of Sri Lanka, I think we just should keep him away, not overexpose him to the foreigners, and then play him as a mystery bowler in the World Cup. And you never know. I mean, he could be very, very successful.
Right. And so, also we saw in the recent series, the second string England side actually inflicted a whitewash with a full strength Pakistan team. And if we talk about the Indian side, we are also lacking most of our main players. This is a young and inexperienced side. Do you see this side also being capable of inflicting a similar sort of treatment with the Sri Lankan team? A sort of your prediction for the ODIs and T20s?
See, when you get youngsters in, there's more energy, there's more athleticism, there's more positivity. So I would expect our cricketers, I mean, whatever they call them, the second 11 or whatever, I think they are Indian cricketers. For us, they are Indian cricketers. They're wearing Indian colors and playing, and we are there to root for them, to support for them. And we are hoping that they will definitely prove a point in Sri Lanka. And if you're looking at a prediction, I'd probably say 2-1 in both the series.
Right. So before we go off, don't forget to tune into the Sony Sports Network. Watch the live coverage of India Tour of Sri Lanka on Sony 6 and Sony 10 1 channels in English, Sony 10 3 channels in Hindi, and Sony 10 4 channels in Tamil and Telugu. Remember, the matches begin at 3 p.m. Indian Standard Time, but the coverage on Sony begins at 2 p.m. Indian Standard Time.